After going through all the chapters, let's combine what we have learned into a complete task. Now, we are going to look up the data from the database over to the incomplete report given. Here, we have a backlog report from a customer. The PO number, reference number, and line number are plotted in different cells. While looking into our database, we have the PO number, reference number, and line number combined and separated with slash. Come back to the customer's report. The part number has no IPO as a prefix. While look back our database, there are IPO prefix. And the database laid vertically in the database. We are requested to input the ship date by consider the PO number, reference number, line number, part number and quantity. So, we are going to add the combination of these items into one cell. In customer report, we can add the combination in the last column, and later on we shall remove it when we're done with the lookup. Combine those data, we may use the concat function. Start with equal, concat, select the function, and press tab. Then, start with the first item, PO, just click on the cell of PO after that, comma. Next, we should have input the reference number. There should be a slash in between, according to our database. So, we should manually input slash with a double quotation mark, comma. Then, click the cell of reference. Moving on, comma, and slash. And line number. Then, before we input the part number into the combination, we should manually input the prefix IPO, which is not in the report, but exists in our database. Remember, whichever text or number we input manually should be put it in the double quotation. Then, comma. Input part number by clicking the part number cell. Comma again, then input the quantity. When we're done, just press enter. If we have accidentally pressed enter before complete the setting, just double click on the cell and we shall be able to continue input the cell reference. Place the cursor on the bottom left corner, click and hold to drag down to autofill the data. Then, we temporarily stop here for the customer's report and switch to manage our database to combine the data as per what we done in the customer's report. In our database, we need to look up the ship date over to customer's report. Look for the ship date and right-click on the column header and insert a column. Then, combine the data like what we have in customer's report. Here, we have PO number, reference number, and line number in one single cell, and part number with the IPO prefix. So, we just input equal and call up concat. Then start to input the relevant cells, PO and items, comma, material number, comma, quantity. Then press enter. When we do formula and the result display text instead, we should change data format to general. And double-click on the cell and press enter to refresh the data. Place the cursor on the bottom left corner, click and hold to drag down to autofill the data. And then, we are prepared to do lookup into the customer's report. But our database is in vertical layout. So, we are going to use VLOOKUP function to pull the ship date into the customer report. Let's get back to the customer report. In the cell where we wanted to input the ship date, input equal VLOOKUP, press tab button on the keyboard to select it. Then, click on the function shortcut to open up the function arguments. The lookup value is the value which wanted to match with the database. So, it is the combination we just made. Next, table array. It is the database which contains the ship date we needed. So, click the cursor in the table array and move to the database. Range the data, including the combined items as the first column. But after that, we got to identify the result to be returned is in which column number. Here, we range to column. The first column is the combination of the matching items, and the ship date which we wanted is in the second column. So, the column index number shall be 2. The last argument, range lookup, will need to be exact match. So, it is false or 0. Then click OK to return to the worksheet. This is the result. Check the data format if it is correct. But otherwise, we shall right-click on it and format cell and select appropriate format. Then click OK. Then, we may drag the cell down to autofill the rest. This is not the final yet. We are not going to give the database to the customer. So, we need to unlink the lookup reference. Range them. Click Copy and paste value on itself. Finally, we will remove the concat that we done for matching purpose. Range them and press delete on our keyboard. Then, save the worksheet. And we are done.